Hello, I have here the LEGO Jurassic World Baryonyx Dinosaur Boat Escape Set. This is derived from the Jurassic World Camp Cretaceous show on Netflix, which is part of the official Jurassic World universe. This set comes with a big boat, a big dinosaur, a really little dinosaur, and 4 figures. The Big Dino is a recolor and reprint of LEGO's Baryonyx, and it has a name in the show. It's called Grimm in particular, this specific one. There are multiple in the show. This one covers the colors and the markings of Grimm decently well, but I have one problem with this personally that I just can't get over. I can't get over the fact that there's green down here at the base of the neck. I understand that this is all just molded together as one up here, but this tan should extend all the way through, all the way down, all the way out down the tail. You see, it goes all the way to the tip here. So just have it broken right there. Really bugs me. Other than that, I'm fine with it for what it's intended to be in the show. Now, is this a scientifically accurate Baryonyx per what we know of Baryonyx right now? Maybe not. It might not be perfect. But we're still figuring that out. Also, still figuring out what Spinosaurus looked like, but for now, at least this looks pretty much like what's in the show, which is what it's based on, not real life. This has the standard articulation that you would expect from a large dino, with the arms going up and down. The legs go up and down. You can't find too many walking poses or running poses that work too well. There are a few little ones in there. You can just kind of get a little bit of movement. There's a way to, there we go. You can get a little bit of movement between the two legs, but this one also has the neck joint down here, which has the up and down movement for the head. You can also rotate the head at the same time, and then the jaw, as you saw, is able to open and close. You can also kind of keep it partway in between, and there's a little hole there to allow the tail of a fish to fit through, so it can look like it's in the process of eating. The little dino, meanwhile, is just one of these babies that LEGO has had for a while. That mold, I think, is very cute. The print here, I think, is good. The color scheme is good and useful. And yeah, I'm happy with this. I can never complain about LEGO's baby dinos. I'm still working my way into Season 3 of Camp Cretaceous, but thus far I haven't seen anything like this. But I'm okay with that, because at least I think it makes sense in the Jurassic World, right? To have a transport. We've seen this on screen at least a couple of times, have a transport for a large dinosaur, and the way that this is intended to work is it captures one by having a couple of capturing mechanisms here. It's obviously supposed to grab this one safely. There are actually some studs there, and I'm talking about right down in here to hold the feet, so this is already somewhat secure, and then I can just bring these up and carefully bring this across, and it should hold it in place. And this whole boat will float with the unitary hull, which is one piece for the black, one piece for the gray. They come together already, and I like these a lot. I like LEGO's unitary boat hulls, even though it's not super built up. The play value of being able to put this into a bathtub or a small pool or something, I think, is fantastic. Beyond that, this boat in particular, though, doesn't have a lot going on with it. There are some details, so you got your spotlight over here. The exterior detailing is nice in the superstructure here. They definitely used more pieces there than they needed to. I'll show you the interior shortly. It's also got bumpers on the sides, which are nice for a little bit of suggestion of realism there. We've got this platform where minifigures can go up here to try to directly feed the dinosaur, I think is the idea, because you've got a couple of like square barrels of crates here with some fish. I mentioned how the fish can go into the mouth, but all this back here just holds the dino, and that's it. And when the dino's not in there, a lot of this stuff is kind of irrelevant. Like this, I feel like this ship should be able to hold a whole lot of stuff. Especially if the dino isn't there, but there's a lot of specialized stuff. There is space in there. It's just not a great use of space. Speaking of which, let's come back to this. I'll start to show you some interior stuff. So this is where you get access to the bridge, which has just a single seat there and a steering wheel. And inside there are a couple of printed console pieces, one on either side. But that's it for the bridge. And then all of this lifts up to give you access to the remainder of the interior space, which is just that. There's a spot to put a large crate down below to carry a little bit of cargo, and that's it. There's a fire extinguisher over there. You already saw these crates, but yeah, big ship that doesn't do a whole lot. I feel like it's trying to look like it can do a lot with a bunch of small details that they add all around, but it just doesn't doesn't work out in the end, in my opinion. This does not give me the play value that I would expect from such a big thing, other than, of course, being able to put it in the water. That's good. But for something of this size, it should carry more and do more, I think. And then the little boat also floats, and this is the new mold for 2021 that is a lot more useful than the old one. Same size overall, but gives you a lot more space, a lot more usable space on the interior. A very simple build for the outboard motor there, but this also has, well, it has space to hold the same thing that the main ship does in its cargo hold, or its cargo space underneath the bridge. It's this crate is the exact one that's intended to fit there. And then this whole boat itself, if you don't have the Big Dino in here, can go in the back, and you can just kind of attach that roughly in that area. Looking at figures, I think both of these are detailed really well. On the left, obviously, is Owen Grady, and on the right is a guard, just somebody from, a generic person from the ACU. And I like the detailing on both of these. I think that they both look good. The figure on the right is very relevant to Camp Cretaceous, the show in particular. The one on the left is not, but I understand, again, why he's here, because of the recognition of that character, and they're trying to sell toys here, so there's no harm in including this figure. And I think it probably is a good business idea, but for fans of Camp Cretaceous in particular, it would have been nice to get somebody else who's relevant instead. Speaking of which, here are Darius and Yaz, and I've seen people commenting on my previous videos from this series that Darius at least should have shorter legs, and I do agree with that now that I've been catching up with the show a bit. I think that Yaz being the full height makes sense, but would have been nice to get just medium-sized legs for Darius. I think that would have been a lot more appropriate. I like the prints here generally, except for the suggestion of shorts here, which just doesn't work. As soon as you go around the side, Lego should just give up on that entirely. If you're not going to dual mold, then don't even try, because this just feels kind of embarrassing from a quality and design perspective, and in my opinion, as a production thing. I think that the face for Yaz there is useful, is appropriate to the character as well, and can also be used on other characters outside of your custom builds and figures outside of the Camp Cretaceous world, as can everything that you see here, because nothing is specific to the show. So that's at least a good thing. Looking at extras, you see a couple of nice spares of those small prints, and the sticker sheet had just 3 large stickers that go onto the hull of the boat. There are also a couple of these in the set that can be used with any of the figures that you choose, but just 2, not one for every figure. I paid $80 US for this set, and the cynic in me is surprised that they didn't charge $100 US, honestly, for something of this size. Don't look at the price-to-part ratio. It's completely irrelevant, because one of the parts is enormous, and another of the parts is pretty big as well. I mean, this counts as a handful of parts, I think, but still. That said, though, $80 is a bunch for what you can actually do with this. Like I said, I just don't find much excitement and serious play value in this boat, and I would like to. I love Lego boats. A lot of people, a lot of older Lego fans in particular, seriously dislike these unitary boat hulls. I like them. I want to like any boat that's based on any of these big hulls, but this one I don't. There's just too little going on with it. You pay a lot for the part, but then the stuff that's added is really, really minimal. I feel like this is budget limited internally, but still ends up being not a good deal. So this is one that I think will probably sell poorly. I don't think there's a whole lot of draw to this dinosaur in particular either for kids. So I don't see this selling well just generally across the board for any reason. So I do hope to see this go on sale. If it goes on sale, the price starts to come down, then I think you might be able to pick up a nice deal for this. But there aren't enough things to make you need this, even if you are specifically a fan of the Camp Cretaceous show, like a really, really big fan. So yeah, overall, this feels kind of like a pass to me. I got it to review, but I also collect dinosaurs. But for most folks, I just can't recommend it, especially at the current price. Let me know what you think, though, in the comments. Thanks for watching, and I'll talk to you again soon.